Good afternoon, it's March 14th, 2024 at 12:07 p.m. We are meeting with IAEP for our regular bargaining session. I'm Nikki Powell, Interim HR Director.
Wes Marino, County Administrator.
Janice Floyd, Interim Deputy Director, Human Resources.
Dave Torcell, EMS Chief.
Eric Gilmore, Public Safety.
Debbie Bowers, Assistant County Administrator.
Tamika Williams, Business Operations Manager, Public Safety.
Chad Stimmel, President, IAB.
Emily Stevens, Treasurer, IAP.
Diamond Melvin, Secretary, IAB.
Dick Anderson, IAP Negotiator.
Michael Morosco, National Representative, IAP.
We have Kristen Newell on Teams. Okay, we closed the last session with you guys to provide articles to us. We got those today. We were able to look at them over lunch, so I'm going to go through those real quick.
Okay.
Forgive me, I was telling them I've been sick, so I'm kind of losing my voice. 404, orientation. We will agree to do it at post 10, but what we would agree to is a date and time, so that would be Tuesdays at 9 a.m. And we would provide language. We would also leave the language that if you don't get the notification from the HR department, that you would be given another date and time.
Okay, as long as, I mean, that works for us, right? Because you guys, if you know it's going to be Tuesdays at 9 a.m., you can plan your schedules and plan.
And what we're looking for is
Okay.
consistency, and the way we do it with the county and orientation is just a date and time.
Okay,
We'll send
that will
over.
work, that will work.
Okay. And then that would, if that works, then that's pretty much a TA on the floor.
Okay, because that
Our-
was the only thing open on.
Yes.
Correct. Seniority, we're still kind of the mindset that we're already doing this, and we don't intend to memorialize it in the contract.
Well, let me just remind you that at last session, I mean, the chief said he agrees that seniority should play a role in filling open shifts. So you guys were going to give us some language to not obviously all of what we've covered in Article 6, but what you were willing to do on the issue of seniority. So we're still kind of, because my last note on that at the end of the session was we're awaiting your language on that.
Yeah, and we reviewed it, and we still believe that it is in our practice, but I can get back with the team, and we can see if we have something to provide. 803E, we are okay with that. 803F, that we already do that, so we're not intending to add it to the contract. 803G, we are okay with adding that to the contract. 805, we don't intend to add funeral leave. 806, that's already the practice, we don't intend to add it to the contract. And 807, we agree to the language.
Okay, hold up, before you move to the next article,
Yeah,
let me just finish my
you
notes.
can
Okay.
So,
Do you want me to repeat all that?
yes.
Okay.
A little bit slower, please.
803E, we agree to the language.
Okay.
803F, it's what we already do, so there's no need to add it to the contract. 803G, we agree to the language. 805, we don't intend to add funeral leave. 806, that's already the practice, so we don't intend to add it to the contract. 807, we do agree to that language.
805, you said no to?
Correct.
Okay. And,
803E, I have a question.
803E?
Yes,
Okay.
because this is going to cause a slight shift, because normally that period is roughly
So this
July.
wouldn't be till ratification, so
So
we
we-
could kind of define that at the time.
Okay, thank you.
so 805 was no. $806, was that no or yes?
806 was no, and 807, we agreed to the
Okay.
language.
Okay,
Good. Article 10, we still stay, with our Article 10, and we're following the standards of the law. Article 12, have you guys costed this out at all?
No.
So just so you know, it's about $1 million to do that. We're not willing to commit to that at this time. We are still heavily looking at wages,
Okay.
you know, they're in across the county.
Okay.
But just at $1 million, we can't commit at this time.
I have a question about that. You had sent us an email proposing sign-on bonuses for new paramedics. How much is that costing the county?
We
About 40 to
have,
50,000.
it's based on the number of vacancies we have.
And that was a no for both regular wage increases as well as the compression.
For now, yes, because like I said, that total dollar amount on this article was a little over $1 million.
And that includes the wage compression?
That's all of it,
Yeah, okay,
yes.
all right.
Correct.
And I'm assuming then the response is no on critical care differential?
For now, yes.
Yeah.
For now. That is something, again, we're looking at a policy or
Okay,
or
all
a
right.
way to obtain critical care.
Yeah.
Okay, 1502A, we are good with. 1502B, while there is an intent to push towards Class A uniforms, this would be $60,000 to $90,000. There's no way we can do it within the terms that are here.
Okay.
And that would be the entire uniform budget. 1502C, we're gonna counter with some language to include relief and also a max amount on a shoe allowance. I don't have that offhand, you have to do the math.
Okay,
And-
so I was ready to go. Let
Yeah,
me
you're
clarify your response on C.
See, okay.
No,
We're
you-
good with what you wrote for C, but we
Okay.
wanna add, some language for relief. We don't believe that they work enough shifts to get.
Oh, I see, okay.
Food allowance,
Okay.
and then also, a max amount, as we do in some of our other departments, is, let's say that max amount's $120, and if you want shoes that cost more than that, you can pay the difference and get
Yeah.
the better
Yeah.
shoes. But we're gonna do the math on that and see what we have budgeted and kind of look at what we
Okay.
do in other departments as well.
Yeah.
So I think we're on the track there. We're
Okay.
just not.
It sounds like we are.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna have any issue getting that one.
Okay. 22 and 23, we're still not, gonna add those to the contract.
22, I don't have, did you make
22
any
is
22?
leave.
Which one is 22?
There were no changes.
No relief.
Oh, relief,
Yeah,
okay,
we
all right.
maintained our
Okay.
language.
My bad, I didn't
That's
print that
another
out.
one that I
22,
forgot
yeah.
to send back.
Okay, that's why you can do that, okay, all right.
So any questions on any of that?
No, I think we understood your response. Why don't you let us caucus?
Okay, do you guys wanna talk about the $5,000?
Sure, if you want to go ahead and discuss it.
Yeah, so real, to the orientation, we have been getting the email from Ladarius, I think that's who sends it. We've been getting that,
Okay.
when it's sent
Yeah,
on Friday, so we've been,
Just
how
that
that's going is
additional-
good.
Yeah, the additional language there is, for some reason it doesn't get
Yeah,
sent,
yeah.
you will get another
Yeah,
day, and I
yeah,
think that was the intent.
So who
Yeah.
they've been sending that to is fine, that's,
So,
we've been getting that,
so
so.
we have an agreement
That's good to
on
hear.
that on 4.04, which,
Yeah, for orientation.
yeah, which makes,
Yeah.
TA on that arm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right,
the five.
Yeah.
Sorry, so the $5,000, just a recruitment incentive that we did it last year across the county, and I think it was $2,000 for a lot of the positions that were hard to fill in the county. Right now, there's a need for paramedics, and We were gonna offer a $5,000 recruitment incentive. We were hoping to get it on the board agenda April 7th. Obviously, it's something you guys can have a say in, but the contract would be they would get it in 3 installments. And, like if they leave or whatever in the time frame, Tamika, what was the
The
time
full
frame?
3 years will be required to pay back 100% of the dollar amount that they receive.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not gonna be
Yeah.
prorated at
No,
all?
ma'am.
Now, what will this, I mean, how long will the 3 increments be spaced out?
Every year in December.
Okay, all right. So if they leave before 3 years, they might not necessarily have received the 3rd installment of the.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
And is this just for paramedics, or is there gonna be
Just
something
for-
for EMTs as well?
Just for
Just for
paramedics.
paramedics, okay.
So if they leave in 2 years, then they pay back in 2 years, right?
No,
Right,
it's
they would have received at that
They
point.
pay back
Yeah,
what
yeah.
they've received.
What they've received,
All of
yeah,
it,
yeah.
so if they don't complete
Yeah.
the 3 years, they can see that.
The whole 5 years, they've only got.
If they've got
No,
the
they
3rd.
Whatever portion.
So it's 1650, I believe, it's 1650 the
Right, okay.
first year, 1650 the second year, and 1500 the
So,
last
so if
year.
they leave before they get the 2nd installment, they only owe 1650.
Okay,
If they,
okay,
if they
yeah.
leave
Right.
after the 2nd but before the 3rd,
Then they get.
it's 3300.
Whatever,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that.
And if you guys want to caucus and then kind
Yeah.
of let us know afterwards that we can move forward with that on the board agenda, that's not something we
Okay.
can add to the contract, that would just be something for
Okay.
recruitment. And then once we are filled, and we did this last year, is once we reach a certain level percentage, we go back to the board and say we're going to stop that recruitment.
Okay. Can you accompany us, because last time we had to knock on the door and wait for somebody to come and let us in.
Oh, yeah, I sure can. All right, we're in the caucus.
All right.
You gonna take them? All right. Okay, we have returned from caucus.
Okay. All right, give you our response. On Article 4, we have a TA
Okay.
on Article 4.
Uh-huh.
Article 6, we're going to await
Yeah.
whatever language you want to do on that. We'll put our proposal on
Yeah.
hold, await that. Article 8, you agreed to 803E and G and 8.07. We're withdrawing the other, but we're withdrawing 803F. We're withdrawing our proposal for 805. We're withdrawing our proposal for 806, which means we now have a TA on Article 8.
I was like, do we have a TA?
We do,
Okay.
we do.
And I will say, we did speak in caucus, and we will be getting you some language for seniority.
Okay, good. Article 10, most of our proposals aren't covered by the FLSA. We made those proposals to clarify ambiguities in the way, mandatory overtime is done. So we're going to maintain our position on that. Article 12, we're going to put our proposal on hold, awaiting you to finish your considerations about, what you want to do with that. Article 1502, you've agreed to 1502A, so obviously that's TA. 1502B, is there, you mentioned that it wouldn't fit within the budget or the time frame that's in our proposal. If there's a time frame that's more
We have
workable.
to do the math.
Okay.
And so.
So
we might
we're
be able
gonna,
come
we're
up
gonna
with
put it
some
on hold and
language on that,
wait
but,
for, what, if you could come to a determination of what would be a feasible timeframe. And 80 and C, same thing, you've agreed to the language that we proposed, and we're fine with putting language in to deal, how often it would be done for relief employees.
And then
we're
the
fine.
max amount.
And we're just waiting for what you think would work for that. Okay, in Article 22, we're gonna maintain our position on that, and right now, relief employees have to cancel shifts like 48 hours before they're scheduled, so.
72.
So, is it 72? You guys different. Everyone says
72.
48.
48 is how many they're required to work per month.
Okay, all right,
72
okay, all right,
is their
72.
cancellation window.
Which, if somebody wakes up in the morning and they're running a fever of 103, they obviously can't, call out for this shift 72 hours in advance. Sick leave for regular employees, for full-time employees, they have to notify with 4 hours before the beginning of the shift. just think it's reasonable for relief employees to have the same amount of time. And on the, it used to be they were required to work 24 hours a month. And then it was, you guys doubled it to 48. We're just trying to reach a middle ground and have it be 36 as be the required. I don't think our proposals are unreasonable, so we're gonna maintain our position on that. And Article 23, we're gonna maintain our position because our entire proposal is intended to simply ensure employee safety, and the people who are actually affected by it, you know, have more knowledge of it, so I'm gonna let them address that.
I guess, is there any specific opposition to putting these in place? I mean, these are all safety issues. I mean, even up to Monday of this week, we had employees that were working a 12-hour night shift and then going immediately on an extended transfer, a 15, 16-hour transfer, putting them at almost 30 hours. So we have some issues with safety there that we are concerned about. We think that puts a lot of liability on the county, the employees who are running those transfers and those extra shifts. I think that that's something that we probably either need to talk about or consider, because we don't have any policies in place to directly address this. But these are things that are happening, and I don't want the county at the liability, I don't want our employees to have the liability, and this is a huge safety issue.
Well, the risk,
Yeah, the risk is huge there to have people out on the road for 28, 27 hours at a time. And we're asking for a third person to be added. I mean, we understand that those things are gonna get done. People may volunteer to take those shifts or those transfers, but we would like to see a little bit of security around that, and that we're adding a third person, and that we're just being mindful of that.
So now I think we need to pick another date. Because I know, as you said, we
What
can-
about, I'm gonna jump real quick to the 5,000.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
there
yeah,
any-
yes. We don't object to the recruitment bonus.
Okay.
We think the county should give some consideration to something that would be some way to retain employees, you know, in addition to giving money to people to recruit them to come here. When you have employees here and they're good employees, you know, some consideration to maintain those employees, which obviously part of our wage proposal was to address the, you know, the compression issue. So we just, in addition to paying money to people who are currently not employees to get them to come to work here, we just wish that you would give some thought to a way to retain current employees.
But at this time, you don't have a problem?
We don't, no,
Just
we
trying
don't
to
have
take
an
that to the
objection
board
yet.
Next month?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the date that you're trying to get it to the board by,
I
the
think
7th?
it's April 7th, I believe, whatever, it's the first meeting in, April?
Yeah, no, we, as I said, we don't
April
object
4th.
to doing it.
April 4th.
Yeah.
If we can get you some proposed language, would you be for maybe a retention as well to add on to?
Well, that's part of
That
our,
would be
we've
part of
already
your
made that proposal.
contract, not part of the recruitment.
Yeah, that's,
Right.
that, yeah,
Okay, we're talking about the
yeah,
contract.
yeah. We've attempted
If
to
they
provide
approve that
proposals.
on that meeting, when do you think that would go into effect? The
It's
first pay
usually
period?
the first full
Okay.
cycle after ratification.
Okay,
Or after approval.
okay. But anybody hired, say, after August 4th, you would give it to,
Yeah.
started that day or whatever,
Yeah.
the pet medics? Okay.
No, I don't want to set another date that doesn't give you enough time to come up with whatever language you want to come up with. Obviously, I don't want to drag this out forever.
Right.
So maybe, Nikki, if you could just send us, when you talk to your team, dates that you guys would have available.
Yeah,
and then-
if we're pretty much done today, we can probably get those dates here
Okay.
before we leave.
Okay,
this room,
yeah.
And I can get you
Because
something.
I think, I mean, we've been here, and we don't expect you to respond with any language today. So I think you were done for the day, and then if you guys, before you break, if you can come up with dates and then send them to us.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good.
I will turn out the order. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.